Hello, welcome back for yet another episode of RV Life, What I Eat in a Week, brought to you by the Danae Collective. Hi, I'm Danae, and this is episode 33. All right, well, let's get to it. So, in last week's episode, I kept my voiceover video very minimal. And since I am literally doing the editing, recording, and finalizing of this video as well as the last Sunday's episode on the same day, this is also going to be a minimum voiceover. So, this should be, I think, like a day after I did my grocery haul. I had bought some pork chops, so I decided I was going to make some pork chops, obviously. I hadn't really figured out what I wanted to do with it necessarily, but I ended up making my salad first just because it's so much easier to do stuff that can sit and rest for a little bit before I start cooking, because if I start cooking right away, then I've lost a surface area that I can use for prepping everything else. So kind of got into the habit of doing everything on the stove last, right? So in this case, I have the tomato garlicky couscous that I made in the last episode, and I am repurposing it into a couple of different pre-made little meals. So I have work the following day, so I'm taking a portion of that couscous and putting it into a container, and then I will add the pork once I am done cooking it. And then in a separate container, I'm going to make a salad for a different work day. I'm going to add some fruit in there, namely some orange slices and some chopped nuts, and I think I put cucumber in here. You'll see it as we go. Definitely rewind if you need to. But while I was cutting up the oranges, I thought to myself, oh, it'd be nice to make orange pork. So I just added a little bit of orange juice to it. I didn't do anything too crazy. I do think I want to revisit this recipe at some point. But also, I did not see how one would make candied orange peels until after I made this. So now I'm like, I should have thrown out those orange peels. But I still have 3 oranges, so, you know, I could make something out of it. Who knows? So I think that if I were to do this differently, I would probably use more than just 2 slices of orange. I would probably use maybe a half an orange, juice that, mix it with probably some honey, the Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, probably garlic and some ginger, and then let that pork marinate for at least an hour before I cook it. Maybe less than that, because I don't know if the citrus would cook the pork, not sure. But point is, I should have done like a little bit of a marinade. Not to say that my pork didn't turn out delicious. It did. I just, depth of flavor, why not? Okay, it's a new day. It is morning, and I have been wanting corned beef hash for like ages. So, finally bought a can of it. Basically, sat and thought about how I wanted to prepare it for at least 4 to 5 days. And now I'm finally doing it because procrastination is fun, right? So, I wanted to make sure that my corned beef stayed together, and I have to apologize. I completely forgot to angle my camera down at any point during this particular recipe. But I ended up adding cornstarch, umami seasoning, paprika, and chili flakes to this just because I wanted a little bit of heat but nothing too crazy. I added the cornstarch because I wanted this to form a patty and not crumble and fall apart, which is what it typically does. And I ended up cooking it in my little egg dish here. That way I could make sure that it kept its shape. So I was actually really happy with how it turned out. This was so tasty. Ugh, it's making me hungry just thinking about it. I'm gonna have to buy more corned beef eventually, and remake this because it was just it hit all the right spots. Look at that. Doesn't that look scrumptious? possessed my brother to decide to power wash the RV at 9 o'clock at night, but I was inside cooking and filming when he started. Anyway, we went out to dinner at Blackbird at some point later that week. So he being my brother, got the orange chicken, and I got the Don Don noodles, which were spicy and scrumptious. Back to the whole pressure washing thing. I think that was the catalyst to us figuring out that there was something going on with the wiring, because when he plugged in the pressure washer, like I said, I was cooking and I was also filming at that time, and the power tripped, and I thought maybe it was because of me, but no. Then I start hearing noise outside and I realize, what is this man doing at 9 o'clock at night cleaning the RV? Whatever, not going to complain. It is what it is. And after that, the power was out for 2 days. Yeah, it was an experience. I had to move all my food into his house so that everything wouldn't go bad. So this is his plates. I had to go in his kitchen and make my breakfast the following day. He had to borrow an AC unit. It was crazy. It took about 2 days to finally get an electrician out here. My brother had contacted one that he knew, the one that actually set this up to begin with, and he kind of flaked on us, and gee, I wonder why. Probably because it might have been his fault that it wasn't set up correctly anyway. The electrician that did come and fix everything was amazing. He let me take photos of the progress. He got everything replaced and hooked up, and he told me that the original cord was loose, and that might have been the main factor into why it burned up. Oops, looks like that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching yet another episode of RV Life, What I Eat in a Week, brought to you by the Danae Collective. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get notified of additional content. New episodes now release every Sunday. Come back and see us again soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.